You are here with By the Cover. Today we're going to be reviewing The Queen by Nick Cutter. This book was 368 pages and took me 4 days to read. I would rate this book a 6 out of 10. This review may contain spoilers, so if you do not want to hear those, click off now. My likes with the book: I thought it had a very strong start to the story. I liked the transition from the prologue to chapter 1. I think the best part of this story, in my opinion, is the Antagonist and their backstory. The tragedy he experienced actually reminded me of a MacGyver episode that I saw when I was younger, which is funny because in the notes after the book had finished, the author actually cited that as an inspiration. I like the small amounts of humor that were sprinkled throughout the book. I thought the body horror and the gore was very well done. The last half of the book, for the most part, was great. And I liked any type of character building with the relationships between the characters. There were not a lot of these, but I did love the insights that we did get. There were a couple emotional moments in the book. As far as my dislikes, while the beginning was a strong start to the book, it was just way too weird to start the story with. It read like a dream sequence. The book had a pretty bland set of protagonists. The primary character especially doesn't feel real in any way, shape, or form. They kept repeating the same cell phone text tone, which was set to Pikachu. Reading that repeatedly got really old. The book didn't really get going till just before the halfway mark, so it didn't really grab me up until that point. And also, after the story gets exciting, at the point where the protagonist is in the freezer onwards, I felt like most of the rest of the book was just uninteresting and pointless, except a couple scenes involving Mags and Charity. I felt like it was some really good build-up, but the payoff wasn't there. Overall, I think this was a fairly mediocre book. I absolutely love the primary concept, but poor pacing, bland characters, and being a bit too weird at times takes away from the quality of the story. However, I still had a great time reading the book, especially in the second half. It was a fun journey to be along for. The body horror elements were done really well, and I liked the bonds between certain characters, even if they were a little bland. That's about it. We'll catch you later.